Why is giving birth in the U.S. so expensive? New mom shares shocking truth. Imagine the shock of a new mother staring at a hospital bill that rivals the cost of a college degree just for bringing two tiny humans into the world. But here's where it gets controversial. Emily Fisher, a 36-year-old mother of twins from Ohio, argues that the U.S. fertility crisis isn't just about personal choices. It's about the staggering financial barriers that make parenthood feel like a luxury only the wealthy can afford. And this is the part most people miss. The real cost of raising a child in America might already be pricing out the next generation before they're even born. Fisher's TikTok video, which has amassed over 831,000 views, isn't just a personal story. It's a mirror reflecting a national crisis. The CDC reports that the U.S. general fertility rate plummeted by 3% in 2023, hitting an all-time low. Yet Fisher's perspective cuts deeper than statistics. Maybe it's not about lifestyle, she says. Maybe it's because having a baby in America costs over $100,000 just to get through the hospital and home. Her words have sparked a wildfire of debate, with some viewers outside the U.S. reacting in disbelief. In the UK, you pay for parking and that's it. Others ask bluntly, is having kids now only for the rich in America? Fisher's journey began with a high-risk pregnancy requiring weekly checkups and a scheduled C-section. Despite having great insurance with a low deductible, her hospital bills totaled $120,527.51, with $6,000 plus spent on a single headache at 7 months pregnant. Her twins were billed separately, $15,000 each. Leaving her to joke, they've already been billed more than my student loans. The math is staggering. A 2017 USDA study estimates raising a child to 17 costs $233,610, now inflated to $318,949. For Fisher, 2 years of daycare will exceed her college debt. This isn't just expensive, it's unsustainable, she says. The conversation isn't just about numbers. A Pew Research survey reveals that 60% of women under 50 and 50% of men cite not wanting kids as their top reason for childlessness. But Fisher challenges the narrative. People can choose without judgment, she says. But raising a family shouldn't require financial superpowers. Her TikTok comment section is a microcosm of this tension. One user writes, "I'm too European for this," while another asks, "Is it okay if the world isn't overpopulated?" Here's the twist. Fisher didn't expect her insurance to cover most of the costs. She knew her out-of-pocket max was $2,788.70. But without coverage, she faced bankruptcy. "This isn't just my story," she says. "It's a system that's broken for millions." As the fertility rate continues to drop, the question lingers. Is America's dream of parenthood becoming a reality reserved for the wealthy? Or is this the price of progress in a world where the cost of living outpaces wages? Share your thoughts below. Do you think the system is broken, or is this the new normal? Let's talk. U.S. fertility rate hits all-time low. What you need to know. Warning sign for the future. U.S. fertility rate hits rock bottom. But is anyone listening? Imagine a future where the United States population is in decline, putting a strain on the economy, social security, and the very fabric of society. This dystopian scenario might be closer than you think. According to the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, the U.S. fertility rate has plummeted to an all-time low of 1.6 children per woman in 2024. Source, https:// Databriefs data5cdc.gov/date.html. A decades-long trend. The country's fertility rate has been on a downward spiral for decades, largely due to people delaying marriage and parenthood until later in life. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite this decline, the overall number of births in the U.S. actually increased by 1% in 2024, totaling 3,628,934 births. This seeming paradox raises questions about the demographics driving this trend. A closer look at the numbers. Breaking down the CDC's data reveals fertility rates decreased among women and girls aged 15-34 between 2023 and 2024. Rates remained steady for women aged 35-39. And, surprisingly, fertility rates increased for women aged 40-44. Additionally, the share of cesarean births edged up from 22.8% in 2023 to 22.9% in 2024. Policy interventions, will they make a difference? In response to the declining fertility rate, the Trump administration has explored various policies to boost birth numbers. One such initiative is an executive order aimed at reducing the cost of in vitro fertilization, IVF, a costly medical procedure that combines sperm with a woman's egg outside the body. Another proposed policy involved offering mothers a $5,000 baby bonus after giving birth. But will this baby bonuses really work? Demographers are skeptical about the effectiveness of such incentives, citing failed similar policies in other countries. And this is the part most people miss. What are the underlying reasons for the decline? And can monetary incentives truly reverse this trend? We want to hear from you. Do you think baby bonuses or reduced IVF costs can significantly impact the U.S. fertility rate? Are there other, more effective solutions that policymakers are overlooking? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Copyright 2025 Nexstar Media Inc. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten, or redistributed. U.S. fertility rate hits all-time low. What's behind the decline? Let's face it, America's birth rate is hitting a historic low, and it's sparking serious conversations about our future. But here's where it gets controversial. While some folks see this as a warning sign of demographic decline, others argue it's just part of the natural trend toward delayed parenthood. In 2024, the fertility rate in the U.S. dipped below 1.6 children per woman, the lowest on record, aligning more closely with Western European countries than with the stable replacement rate of around 2.1. This long-term decline has been ongoing for nearly 20 years, driven by factors like women choosing to postpone having children or opting out altogether. For example, many women are waiting longer to start families due to career considerations, financial concerns, or health issues, making these changes less about a crisis and more about shifting societal norms. Back in the early 1960s, the U.S. fertility rate was approximately 3.5, which then sharply declined to 1.7 by 1976 after the baby boom era ended. There was a slight rebound to about 2.1 in 2007, but then a subsequent decrease, with the rate settling around 1.6 in 2023, and dipping further to about 1.6 again in 2024. The CDC's latest data reveals this ongoing trend, showing not just fewer births overall, but also shifts across age groups. Curious about those fluctuations? It turns out the recalibrations based on census data changes might have played a part, especially because the total number of women of reproductive age has increased due to immigration. Regarding policies, the Trump administration attempted to address the declining trend by proposing initiatives like making IVF treatments more affordable, highlighting that such procedures can cost tens of thousands of dollars and are often not covered by insurance. Yet some experts, like Leslie Root from the University of Colorado Boulder, believe these measures are symbolic rather than substantive. She emphasizes that the broader issues, like the need for better parental leave and accessible childcare, are the real barriers to higher birth rates. In fact, the latest CDC report, which drew from a more comprehensive analysis of birth certificates, notes a small overall increase of about 33,000 births in 2024 compared to the previous year, bringing the annual total to just over 3.6 million. Interestingly, while initial provisional data suggested a rise among women in their late 20s and 30s, the finalized report shows declines in women in their 20s and early 30s, with no change for women in their late 30s, primarily due to adjustments in population estimates. So what does this mean? Some see it as a sign of a shifting society where fewer women are choosing to have children or doing so later in life. Others worry if this trend might threaten economic growth or social stability in the long run. Do you think these declines are temporary or indicative of deeper shifts? Are policies aimed at incentivizing early parenthood enough? Or are broader societal reforms the real solution? Drop your thoughts. It's a debate worth having.